2023 Volkswagen Arteon SEL Premium R-Line. This is a bakery special, oops we overbaked, here's 12 donuts for $5, luxury spiritual successor of the VW Phaeton if the spirit haunts a Texas roadhouse and only orders an appetizer and binges on free bread. And here's the car getting a flat tire. Dude, we've been doing regular car reviews for 10 years now, and in 2025, we've had our first blowout. US 422 and its Connect 4 pothole patches slammed his stock 20-inch wheels and rubber band tires into a 4-inch drop at scramble speeds. Pow! So here we are remembering how much we hate Volkswagen wheel bolts. Why can't I just hang the wheel on the hub? No, we need two other people to perfectly balance this wheel while a third goes in with the bolts. You couldn't just do studs, Volkswagen, like everybody else. You're too good. Oh, Toyota does it, but you don't. You're special, aren't you? The one silver lining of the Volkswagen Big Areola is that it comes with a full-size spare, and not just a Steely, a matching alloy. I respect Volkswagen deeply for doing this.
And we'll get back to the Arteon in just a second, but the giveaway for this beautiful CB750 Cafe Racer is still going on. Click the link in the description or go to fanathem.com/regularcars and buy a custom piece of merch or a digital download, and you'll be automatically entered to win this beautiful bike from which I argue is the Bronze Age of cafe racers, which I'll talk about probably in another video. I don't want to get too far away from the Volkswagen, the Arteon. These things are easier to explain than the Arteon, because I believe now we're in the Bronze Age of cafe racers, where the hyper artisan designs of them are now gone, and we're returning to what cafe racers were originally meant to be: stripped down versions of cruisers or standards that are made to perform and to be strictly functional, not quite as showy, a little bit dirty, a little bit nasty. And I'm standing behind the bike because I'm not wearing any shoes, and that's very bad, so I'm not going to be a bad example and get on the bike with no shoes and shorts on. But please, enter the giveaways. You're helping RCR expand into future projects and road trips that we're going to do. Once again, go to fanathem.com/regularcars. Buy a custom piece of merch or a digital download, whatever you prefer, and someone is going home with this fantastic Cafe Racer motorcycle. Anyway, back to the Volkswagen.
But what I don't respect is that this Volkswagen Applebee's is a 50,000 plus luxury sedan that looks like an airport rental. Looks like a big Passat. It's invisible in traffic, it blends into a parking lot, and it boasts to no one. If you want to drive stealth middle-class wealth, then here's your ride. If you want to be frustrated with interior controls, this is also your ride. Okay, this has capacitive touch steering wheel buttons. No, stop this. I'm tired of this. This isn't just Volkswagen AG. This is everyone. Drivers want physical buttons on their steering wheel, not this horse crap. We don't want a smooth panel on the wheel that we can't navigate by touch alone. Great. Another distraction for the driver. Gotta take my eyes off the road to check where my thumb is to adjust the volume. The same goes for the fan speed on the HVAC. Is it even a button? No, it's not. It's a YouTube scrubber line, right? It's a tiny little panel that you scroll left and right you swipe left and right with your finger to adjust the blower motor speed. Great. Another thing I have to look at and aim at with my finger. I can't do it. The engineers were designing the interior of the Volkswagen Arteon remake while going barbarian mode on each other's nipples with Unk's rusty channel locks. How can we make interacting with this car's systems harder, more frustrating, more, make it bleed? Let's put user settings deep in the menus. Get the multimeter. I need the sharp probes. Use the snap ring pliers on my ball sack. Hold a can of dust off upside down and shove the straw up my ass! Volkswagen Arteon. To get the on-the-road shots.
I didn't see any issue.
This is interesting. Wait, what? No. What? All I want to do is adjust my mirrors, but there's more options for the mirrors. Instead of just going left and right and it comes to a stop, my little knob here goes around in a circle.
I forgot about that, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, it's the designer's fault. There's a lot of stuff in this car that is, read the fucking manual.
Yeah, no, this is, you have to read the manual car.
This is not an old person's car then, because an old person's car, everything has to be jitterbug easy.
And I think, because this is, again, the refresh, so there's more technology.
Yeah.
This was their last attempt. They just threw everything at the wall. Bigger engine, more technology. You know, maybe we'll sell it to someone. But in that, trying to sell it to someone, they sold it to no one.
I want an Avalon, but I want lower build quality and a convoluted human interface system. I will admit, I like having the maps right in front of me. That is nice. I don't think, though, that the maps I'm looking at directly in front of me is a phone projection, though.
It is not.
So I get the built-in maps where I can see them easy, but Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is over here.
Yes. Now, if this goes down, you know, that at least stays up. That's the car's nav. And I've had it on road trips where cord gets pulled. Yeah. It is wireless, but if it's wired, sometimes it'll go into like a wired state, and then if you disconnect it, it like flashes for a moment.
Interesting.
So that has helped.
Yeah, this turbo is always lit. It's always ready to go. There is zero lag.
No,
in this thing.
and if you want even happier, you put it in sport.
Where's my sport mode? Oh, just down.
Yep.
All right.
It holds it. Your line, I want to be bad. It holds that throttle just.
Interesting. I guess it's a different setup for this, but there is no tack.
Hit view.
Now, the thing that gets me so worked up about the Arteon is that it's everything drivers say they want in a big sedan. Spine supporting seat. It's a fast detuned Golf R engine. It'll sit all day at 100 miles an hour. Rear passengers are happy even when you have big people in the front and they need to put their seat back. And it's got a full-size spare. But this didn't sell at the dealership. Why? Well, you ever have that one person, you want to go out for pizza or you want to order like 2 or 3 pies for the party, and one person says, yo, get Supreme, get Supreme, get Supreme. No Supreme pie is good. You know, where they just put everything on it? That's not pizza anymore. That doesn't have a focus. It's just a mess of flavors that aren't, who is this appealing to? Except for this one guy who have 3 slices, and then great, the Supreme pizza is what you're eating tomorrow morning for breakfast. 2023 Volkswagen Arteon SEL Premium R-Line. Sponsored by Florida. I can't wait to retire. Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? Pay for gas with a check. The Volkswagen Arteon is the kind of car that only ever gets noticed by 2 kinds of people. Old guys who like the color, or Golf owners who see the R badge and want to race. What is it with this shade of blue? It's like at some point in the late 2010s, the entire automotive industry decided to start coloring their cars with this manic pixie dream girl hair streak blue. And it works on some, but looks out of place on others, like a teenager who grows a chin strap and calls it a beard. Now, the blue does look good on this Arteon. In fact, I'd say it's probably the best this color has looked on any of the cars that use this general shade. But I also feel tired just looking at it, like, ugh. Oh, my back's not doing so good today. It was doing fine tomorrow, but it's not doing good today. Oh, and I gotta hang on the pull-up bar, just take some more ibuprofen. I don't know, maybe some wild turkey. You can feel the age behind it. In the same way, a Mercury Grand Marquis comes preloaded with knee pain that changes with the weather. This is like if a Toyota Avalon and a Honda Cross Tour had a baby to save the marriage. There's this attitude of, here, damn, just stop bugging us. Here's your kid. Because Volkswagen couldn't have cared. I refuse to believe that this car was a genuine effort. If it was, then this is a company that doesn't do market research. You're telling me they thought people would pay approximately $51,000 and up for this? And it's not like the Phaeton. The Phaeton was the exiting CEO making a wonderful luxury car for the love of the game. This is Volkswagen not reading the room. And Volkswagen, not Audi. This may have an Audi shape, but no one would ever mistake it for one. Worse, the badge comes loaded with preconceptions that undermine the prestige direction Volkswagen was going for. I mean, this also doesn't make sense because Audis are Volkswagens. So why wouldn't Volkswagen just make this very expensive sedan, call it an Audi, and everybody would go, yeah, okay. It would just be driven by finance bros of the main line. They would drive it to 60,000 miles and then swap their lease for something else. And that would be the end of it. And I would probably say, yeah, okay. Like if this said Audi, I would be, I get this. But it says Volkswagen, so I'm still having a hard time. Best case, people are going to think this car is a car for a trust fund kid who's insulated from the consequences of dropping out of business school. But generally speaking, people will see the Volkswagen badge and think you're some kind of retiree who complains about young people not having manners anymore while they curse out an IHOP server into an early grave on a Sunday afternoon. The problem with the Arteon is that it wasn't really for anybody. No one specific. It's too pricey for the snapback hats wearing a DSLR camera like Flavor Flav's clock, and it's too normie for the pay the bill before you have time to protest crowd. But even if it had been perfectly priced, it came to North America way too late ever to be relevant here. It made it over here in 2019 when sedans were already starting to see their decline. And fair play to Volkswagen, they seem to understand that dynamic driving and a souped-up factory engines are the only way gas-powered sedans can survive. But I don't think anyone who would want a sedan would want one that costs 51 large, doesn't look like anything, doesn't make you feel rich, and takes 91 octane minimum. If this had a BMW badge on it, or again the Audi badge, people may have been more receptive to a European fastback adjacent offering. I like the hatchback on this thing. If this had been a wagon, which does exist in Europe, it would be fantastic, but it doesn't. So you got this hatchback that sort of gives you the idea that you can make this thing practical, but then you put big stuff in the back and realize it doesn't clear the glass. It's like Volkswagen was trying to reach across the gap toward a more prestigious identity, which Kia tried to do with the Stinger and then found a way to do it with the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6. But Volkswagen, it's like they're using the interior tech as a base to build a bridge to that consumer market, but the market wasn't in the mood for civil engineering. And while it's anecdotal, I wouldn't be surprised if this had never been marketed that strongly, because I didn't really hear about this car until it was offered to me. And at first, I thought it was like a Honda Cross Tour knockoff, right? I had this confused with the Atlas for a second. You could be forgiven for hearing the name Arteon and thinking it was another crossover SUV that Volkswagen decided to squeeze out of its blandly symmetrical birth canal. So let's talk about the engine. The one thing that I like about this, the engine is the 2-liter turbo inline 4, making 300 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. It is the Volkswagen Golf R engine, slightly nerfed. It's matched to a 7-speed DSD dual-clutch automatic transmission, offering a 0 to 60 speed of a very satisfying 4.6 seconds. It's got power down low, it's got power in the middle, it's got power up high. This big sedan boogies. Fuel economy isn't that bad either. 22 city, 31 miles per gallon highway, 25 combined. And Ches says that this will do 34 miles a gallon if you nurse it. You're not gonna do that because this thing is awesome. And that's the big positive here. If you're looking to justify the MSRP on this thing smokes most other sedans. I mean, you're gonna roll up with this thing next to somebody with a Pontiac GTO, a Chevy SS, or what's another good one? How about a 3-valve Mustang? And they're going to be frustrated because they can't exactly pull away from you. Now, a lot of that comes down to the all-wheel drive. This thing digs in. Long story short, Ches has back issues and needed something comfortable but fun, but he also knew he was going to be driving a lot for work. So he found this, and it seems to be treating him well. Although he says that the massaging seats don't really do much. It's just like a lazier version of an airport massage chair. It doesn't massage, it just presses on your back like a toddler coming into your bedroom to wake you up 3.5 hours before your alarm. In fact, this is kind of an annoying car because it tries to offer convenience, but offers convenience in the same way a 10-year-old kid offers to help with yard work, with the malicious compliance of a person who doesn't want to do what you tell them. For instance, the car, apparently, this is what happened during the shoot, can tell the difference between having the key in the front seat and having it in the back seat. Because if the car is off, but you get into the back seat, with the key, the car will still lock and then set off the alarm if you get out. But when you're in the front seat, it will passive-aggressively nag at you with the little info screen on the front dash. It'll nag at you to check the back seat, even though there's nothing in the back seat to check. Maybe they just want you to be sure you didn't leave a kid or a pint of ice cream back there. But it all feels like a relative who lives to see doubt. Well, I'm just looking, I just want what's best for you. So I'm saying this because I like you. And I just think you should think twice before you make these decisions. And, I'm just letting you know that you're still in the will. And, we wish nothing but the best for you. I just want you to know that we love you a lot and we don't want you to make any bad decisions, and I just wish that sometimes you'd think things through a little bit, and I'd feel responsible if you got hurt or got your heart broken. Anyway, just hoping you call us back, and Merry Christmas. But arguably the biggest interior design issue is one that I'm not sure a lot of people would necessarily give a second thought. You know the wireless charging pad that most cars have now? And you put your phone on it, charges. This one has a lid on top of that. All right, so what? Well, what happens is if you close it, the hot air from your phone, because when you do these wireless chargings on your phone tends to heat up. And the only way to cool it is to let that heat radiate away. But this lets you close a lid on top of that. Why would you design it this way? I can't even understand it from a standpoint of, well, I'm going to leave my phone charging while I run inside Wawa for a hoagie, but I don't want anybody to see my phone and try to break it, so I'm going to close the little door. Oh yeah, also that. This thing will keep charging your phone even if you take the key out and walk away. So you can leave your phone charging forever in this with the door closed so your battery gets all inflated. Nice. Your phone's going to get hotter than a GoPro Hero 10. It's going to be hotter than Chicken Vindaloo when they say, you want it hot or do you want it R hot? And you say R hot and they say, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I can take it. And they're like, okay. Just looking at it, it's attractive enough from the outside, but it's basically just a car for a man who rather play golf than drive one. The tired MQB architecture is here, like a withering principal who won't take retirement because he knows it'll be the death of anyone paying attention to him. It offers bland familiarity in a prettier package than you're used to, because underneath this paint job is a party at your aunt's house that makes you long for the algebra homework you could be doing instead. The potato salad is warm. The hot dogs are damp. The ice cubes are room temperature somehow. And Volkswagen just gave up here with this car ending production entirely last year, 2024. And all I can think is, what was it all for? Sure, the people who liked it really loved it, but none of that matters if you can't bring in enough new buyers to justify it. And unlike the Volkswagen Phaeton, there's no legacy to build upon. Volkswagen didn't do this for the love of the game. Volkswagen just hit that last-ditch three-pointer from half court, but all it meant was that they lost by 17 points instead of 20.